Hello everyone and welcome to another random game of the day. I'm Andrew and today we're playing Sonic 5, because I guess Sega didn't feel like making a Sonic 4 episode 2, so they kind of just get right to 5. No. As you can see, this is clearly 8-bit Sonic, and it's what it really is it's the Sonic Pirate game that you can find on various types of weird cartridges for either the NES or Famicom. And yeah, definitely nothing actually made by Sega, and there's a lot of things wrong with it. You might not be able to tell just by watching, but the controls are really clunky and Sonic is really slow. Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, of course. The music is really terrible. I mean, even though it's NES, they must be able to make something better than that. And yeah, as anyone who's played Sonic 1 will be able to tell, you aren't supposed to start at Spring Yard Zone, which is usually the third zone in the first Sonic the Hedgehog. But this should actually be a Green Hill Zone if it was right. Yeah, overall, there's just a lot of things wrong with this. A lot of things you probably won't be able to tell just by watching it. Like cheap spots and really clunky controls, as I said. So let's see how far we can go. What we're going to do here is we're just going to play. So I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're just going to play until I get a game over. As you can see, they gave us 5 lives down there. So yeah, I'm just going to go as far as we can. So, yeah, springs, kind of broken. And yeah, one thing I should point out about this is that you actually have a spin dash that you can use, so by holding down and pressing either A or B. Although unfortunately it's kind of broken, just like everything, as you'd probably expect by now. And as you just saw, I kind of spun into that enemy and it didn't die. So yeah, it doesn't exactly work. And if you fall into one of these pits here, better pray that you make it out safely, because the controls are just so bad. And that actually went really well, considering wasn't expecting to get out. But yeah, as I said, I'm gonna play until I get a game over. So we'll see how long that lasts. If this was the real Sonic one, I'd probably be able to make it through the whole game without a doubt on just one set of lives. Although considering this is the pirate game and you can't even build up enough speed to make that gap, this might not even last the first world. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how far we make it. Let's just grab rings for some reason. I think the only item boxes you can find are rings. I don't think I've ever found anything else, although I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, see, really cheaply placed enemies like that come back as soon as we go up here. Yeah, see, is there any rings down here? No, not really. Although, do I dare get that one? Sure, why not? And then lose it immediately. Please don't get stuck down here. Get up there, okay. I just wanted some rings so I hopefully don't die from this guy. Yeah, levels don't have checkpoints, so if we die, we're going right back to the beginning. That's not exactly fun. And I so landed on that guy. No idea why I took damage. Ugh. Come on, Sonic, you're so slow. You know, this is kind of like the obese edition, where he ate like 5 pounds of cake and then tried to play the game. And then he doesn't exactly go very fast. But yeah, so first act down. Not really going too well so far. But yeah, as you can see, there's just so many things, and you take damage so easily. So let's see, maybe Act 4 will look a bit better. It looks like Act 2. So far, it's not looking much better. Act 2, everyone. But yeah, let's see. So, there's not really any rings to save me here, so let's just try to inch our way forward. Yeah, he's just really slow, and you have to hold the right button for like 10 seconds before he actually picks up speed. Let's see, there's not really much you can do about this, considering you can't just wait it out here. So you kind of have to make the perfect jump, and it didn't exactly work. Yeah, so that's one of those really cheap spots I'm talking about in this pirate, that are sort of hard to get by. I mean, like, if it was, of course, an actual game, sure there wouldn't be a cheap spot like that in the first place, but even just the better controls, I'm sure, would help us get by that. But, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to sort of take a hit and then move on from there, or do that, kind of like glitch into the ceiling and make it over. I'm perfectly okay with that. Falling into a nothingness until we end up here. Let's see, will the spin dash even work for these ramps? Yeah, it kind of will, but not too well. So anyway, let's go down. But yeah, well, as you see here, we clearly have to take our time. I might be doing a bit better if I took a bit more time, but I mean, Sonic's supposed to be about the speed, right? Well, kind of. I mean, the older Genesis games, there's actually a lot more platforming involved than people think. Is like people who think Sonic's just about speed, they probably haven't played too much of the original Genesis games. I mean, even Sega themselves started to think that Sonic was all about the speed at one point. And then that's when you sort of get Sonic and the Secret Rings, where you're non-stop running. Well, Sonic's best games were really more about the platforming, but Luckily, with Generations, I think they got everything right, because I thought that was an amazing game. Ah, darn it. Even Colors, I actually had a really fun time playing. Let's get some rings, I think that will do well, so that we don't end up dying. Yeah, so, let's see. And there's not really too much to say about this game while you're playing. It's like, there's a really bland background back there, and we're getting some rings now, but I'm sure we'll lose them in about 10 seconds when we take a really cheap hit. And yeah, other than that, pretty much the commentary for this game. And I can just keep saying that a million times. But let's see, what else we got here? So we got the same like 3 enemies if you don't count the spike balls. If you don't include them, not count them. If you don't include them, if you include them, we have like 4 enemies, or 5 enemies if you include the small ones. Let's hope I can make it by here now. Yeah, okay, good. Get that ring. I guess we have a choice here. Suppose we'll go up. There's not really any point on trying to get rings, because you know we're just going to lose them in a second. I don't think I've ever gotten 100 rings, so I don't know if it even gives you a life. It probably does. Yeah, just look how slow he's moving. It's like, looks like he has like a broken leg or something. He's like, kind of have to try to run, but can't really do it. This is terrible. But, this is definitely something everyone should see. So, you know, just how bad these pirate games are. I know there's also, some other pirates out there. I have a Street Fighter 2, 8-bit, which is pretty, terrible as well. I really want the Mario World pirate game. So I think that looks like it would be a lot of fun, although it's probably just as clunky and terrible as this. And we have no rings now to back us up, so maybe there will be some sort of Christmas miracle, even though it's January. Or not. I swear hit detection on that is really bad, and I didn't actually touch it, just sort of died. Hey, guess what, people? Since there's no checkpoints, we're back to start! But yeah, back to start. It's not really fun. We're falling again. Whoa, we're actually running by holding the B button now. Problem is, B buttons also jump. So, you kind of have to run and then, or jump, and then hold it for a while, and it's overall unpleasant. Because in the real Sonic games, you kind of just have to walk for a few minutes, and you'll start to pick up speed. And then you actually go slower by just gently touching the control pad, but not in this game, because that would be make too much sense. Let's see, so it's kind of just wait for these platforms, and get hit, and then have to go back. Ugh. Let's go up. Nope, not gonna work. Let's go up here. Yeah, so it kind of already seen all this, and this was sort of the part last time I pointed out that there's not really much to say about this game, it's all the same. Well, not really much to say about it even more the second time, when it's even more the same, because we've actually seen it already. So sort of going down this ramp, and running, doing the spin dash that does absolutely nothing, and going up here, and let's go faster, maybe. And spin dash doesn't even make you go fast. I somehow dodged both of those guys, which I'm actually really surprised I was able to do, and get hit by a random falling bullet for some reason. Not so great. Yeah, okay. I think we went up last time, so let's change things and go right. Ooh, let's see, what do we have this way? I wonder if this way is like 10 times easier. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure it just led us to this point last time when we went up. Good, so let's go right even more. Yeah, so, just sort of saying what I'm doing. Like, now I'm running, and now I'm jumping, and now I'm hitting that enemy, and now I'm slowly limping, and I'm jumping over that. And I luckily have 3 rings this time, so, I can run into it again. Let's see, this is probably the end, right after where I died last time, right? Yes, of course. And he doesn't even run out to the side, you know, like he usually does in a good Sonic game. Or just stands here and he's like, meh. Then we have to wait for some other screen to appear to tell us that we passed Act 2! Ugh. But yeah, anyway. Act 3, let's see if we can actually make it past this. It's rare that I do so. As I said, we're only playing until I get the first game over. So 2 lives. We might get a 0. Not entirely sure about that. Didn't quite make that jump, but luckily it leads us up here anyway. Well, there's a massive cheap barrage of enemies at the top. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that. Let's see. Let's check it out. Good enough. Okay, so let's run. Let's just keep going down, and they always put those springs at the bottom. So if you hit them, you're always going back up. This is kind of like a cheap trick. They just try to make you send you back into that. I don't even remember what world comes after, what zone comes after this. We started with the 3rd zone, so who knows what they place next. Not really much to do there. And one time I glitched into like the floor and stuff, and it wasn't too much fun. Because then nothing I could really do until except for reset. I don't know if you time out when your time hits 10 minutes. I'm not entirely sure. Is that the Genesis games, once you hit 10 minutes, it was sort of like a death. Although I think it's pretty cool that the levels were actually long enough that there was some circumstances where you would actually hit that time limit, which is pretty cool. And tried to sort of rush it while I was still had invincibility, but it didn't quite work out. Yeah, as you can see, every time we start the level, we sort of start just above ground. Who knows why they made it do that? I guess they just didn't feel like making it good. I mean, if you're gonna go through the trouble to try and make a game like this, I mean, why not put that last little bit of effort into making it at least look halfway decent? Although I don't really know what pirators were trying to achieve by making games like this anyway. I mean, I guess they were just trying to get people to buy it. Although I can't imagine there was really like mass sales of it or something like that. Maybe in some other country or something. But yeah, sort of wait for this again. Another case of we've seen it already, and the commentary was so rich and awesome the first time that it's just like overflowing with greatness this time. And I thought I had a ring to spare, and we got game over, and that kind of sucked. But yeah, as you can see, I'm Sonic 5, everybody. I believe it goes by other names too. Sonic 3D Blast Land 6 Mega Awesome Piece of Garbage. So yeah, if you ever see Sonic the Hedgehog 5, or any sort of NES pirate game, if you're a collector, buy it, but then put it away, and never ever touch it, because it's a piece of garbage. And absolutely terrible. And here we get to see the Marble Garden Zone that we never actually made it to. Because, yeah, maybe I was playing terribly, but really, if you played this, and you saw what the controls were like, and you had all those cheap spots, and just, overall, it's a terrible game, and don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, so here we go. And it takes you back to the title screen again, and I love that 5. I mean, you have the awesome, not too bad Sonic the Hedgehog title screen, and you couldn't even put effort into making a nice 5. It's just sort of, let's put red blocks that make a 5. Now we're seeing Labyrinth Zone. So yeah, because I sucked, and the game sucked, we're kind of getting a preview of all the things that no one has probably ever made it to in their, like, ever, in the history of anyone, without probably cheating somehow. I don't know if the level select cheat works on the title screen, you know, up, down, left, right, just like it did in the Genesis version. No, let's try it next time. We get to the title screen. And let's see what we get. As soon as we get back to the title screen and watch all the things that we'll probably never get to try. Although, from the looks of it, it doesn't get too much better as you go on. Maybe a little bit less cheap. Because, I mean, there's not spike balls all over the place and cheap enemies waiting for you with springs. And overall, it was just terrible. See, up, down, left, right. Mash everything, hold start and select. And it didn't do anything, but yeah. So yeah, Sonic 5, everyone. Sonic NES Pirate. Thanks for watching, and tomorrow we'll play something a lot better, I promise. We're gonna go from, like, pretty much as bad as you can get on the NES to, almost as good as you can get on the Super Nintendo. So thanks for watching this, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Even Sonic is bored. He's like, this game sucks. See you tomorrow.